Vicente Padilla really couldn't wait to get this game started. Actually, about 2 minutes early is when he decided it was time to play ball, and home plate umpire Angel Campos said, go ahead. There's already been a single. Ryan Sweeney is on first base, the third pitch of the game. He took into right field. And here's what it looked like. So the no-hitter is gone while you were away. The Rangers and the Oakland A's today. Ryan Sweeney's at first base. And a 1-ball, no-strike count on Orlando Cabrera. I've seen games that start a couple minutes late, Tag. I don't think I've seen too many that start 2 minutes early.
Yeah, not in a long time.
And it's up to the home plate umpire to actually say, hey, look, guys, hang on. Not quite 5 after the hour yet, but that's all right. We're good with that. Missed one single. That's not the end of the world, I suppose. But Ryan Sweeney now with a 9-game hitting streak. He is at first base on a humid afternoon. 75 degrees here in Arlington today. I'll give you the entire Oakland lineup as we go along here in the first inning. And Padilla, well, so far in the 4 starts that he's made for the Rangers, Tag, the good news is the Rangers have won 3 of those 4, but he was in today with an ERA in the 8s.
Well, the good part about that is the fact that in his last start, he had his velocity back. A lot has been made of that, but the fact is, early in the season, his velocity was down by 4 or 5 miles an hour. Now it's back to normal, and he had a battle in that game, got off to a good start, struggled a little bit in the middle innings, but he's healthy, and I think that's the main thing.
Runner goes, great jump, and the ball slowly hit to third base. Orlando Cabrera is going to be out, and it works like a sacrifice. So as for Vicente Padilla, who's always seemed to pitch fairly well against the Oakland A's, let's show you the lineup that he will be facing today. After Sweeney and Cabrera, it's Cust and Holiday. Eric Chavez playing some third base. He's had some injury issues. He's fighting through. Kurt Suzuki, Travis Buck, Bobby Crosby at first base today. And then just called up from AAA, Eric Patterson. The power hitting Jack Cust will step away from one. And as for Padilla, here you go. That scouting report on Vinny.
Well, on the season, the ERA is not where he wants it. The 1-loss record is halfway decent because of some offensive help. Opponent's average not good with the left-hand hitters, real good with the right-hand hitters, though. He's been tough on righties. 12 career games against Oakland. Pretty good. He's 5-1.
Last time out, the velocity was back to normal. That was the good news, right? 95, 96 miles an hour.
Yep, on occasion. I think his velocity was what you would normally expect from him.
The native of Nicaragua, 31 years old. The shift on, by the way, for Cust. Elvis Andrus is playing a little bit behind second base and over towards right field. Michael Young protecting third base. There are the numbers from the last game he pitched against Baltimore.
And one thing against Baltimore early in the game, when he was popping his fastball, he threw a lot of fastballs in the first 3 innings. Right off the bat today, been a lot of breaking balls.
That is ball 4 to Jack Cust.
And it looks like he's throwing more of a 2-seam fastball, trying to get it to sink, rather than his good fastball, which is the mid-90s version. We'll kind of monitor that, see how the velocity is, see what style he's going to use today. When he's got his good fastball, he's pretty much a fastball pitcher, and everything feeds off of his fastball. When he doesn't feel confident in his fastball, then he throws a lot of more off-speed pitches and more sinkers. Velocity 89, but if you can locate the ball around the knees and make it sink, then you can get a lot of ground balls.
Matt Holliday has been hitting a lot of ground balls. They brought him in knowing that he was a power hitter in Colorado. The power just hadn't quite been there yet in 2009. In the air towards right. And Nelly Cruz waits under it. That's still 105 at bats now for Holiday since his last home run back to last year. Now, besides Nelly Cruz out there in the outfield today, with Josh Hamilton still nursing a sore rib, Andrew Jones in left, Marlon Byrd in center, Young, Andrews, Kinsler, and Davis around the horn. And we've talked about Salt Lamaki, the improvement defensively, working with Vicente Padilla today. Kurt Suzuki. And not really sure what's going on with Chavez here, because the initial lineup we had, Tag, had Chavez, Suzuki, and Buck. Right now it looks like Suzuki and then Buck on deck.
Yeah, what we were told was Chavez started out at first and then he switched to third with Bobby Crosby, but evidently something between fairly late this afternoon and the start of the game.
Now Suzuki hit by a pitch from Vicente Padilla. So yeah, we got all kinds
Chavez out of the lineup.
Right, we got all kinds of issues off the top here. Vinny pitching a couple minutes early. Oakland completely revamping its lineup on us.
Well, no one else knew it either.
No, they're just announcing it now, so I don't feel as bad, but we'll endeavor to find out what's going on with Chavez. Padilla, you might remember, hit Nick Swisher of the A's in a game a couple of years ago, and that precipitated some things. I don't think he's trying to hit Suzuki, though, right there.
No, he's trying to get out of the inning.
Absolutely.
Just had a pitch get away from him.
So, as Tag and I rue the fact we don't do our scorecards in pencil. Oh, wait, you do.
I do.
Oh, all right, I'm ruining the fact I do mine in pen. Landon Powell is now on deck, by the way. Nobody ever tells us what's going on, Tag.
I hate that.
Oh. What is Bob Guerin doing down there?
I don't think anyone else knew what was going on either. I think Bob Guerin pulled a slip on everybody.
As long as the umpires have the correct lineup, right?
Yeah, I'm sure they turned in the right one. Well, I'm not positive, but I would assume that's the case.
So I'll be on the same page here, people. With the bases loaded, that one is down and in. Travis Buck. The rain out yesterday, we didn't really get a chance to talk about how cool it was to watch Kevin Millwood in action in the opener of this series. But going forward today, I'm sure we can get back to that. It's one of the big stories of the year for the Rangers so far is the performance of Millwood.
That's a good curveball right there. Hadn't seen the curveball. Probably anticipating a sinker. Looks good right there, and then boom, it disappeared on him. I think 2-1 with the bases loaded. He was 100% sure he's going to see a fastball right there.
Now on 2-2 and 2 out. Up and away, 3 balls, 2 strikes. To a hitting challenged Oakland team. The A's in their starting lineup here, Tag. 5 home runs all year. The Rangers starting lineup today has 36 home runs, and that's without Josh Hamilton in the lineup for the Rangers. Swing foul.
Got away with one. Probably was a high slider for ball 4. Yeah, when you've got a team that's struggling like the A's, especially from a power perspective, the last thing you want to do is put them on base without giving up hits.
First pitch of the inning about to come. It's from Padilla to Travis Buck, and it is strike three called. They loaded him up, but they couldn't get anybody in. And Vicente Padilla is out of trouble. The Rangers set to hit against Dallas Braden when we come back. By Corona. It's Cinco de Mayo. Be sure to grab some ice cold Corona or Corona Light. By Jack in the Box. Try the mini sirloin burgers, 3 delicious burgers on toasted mini buns. And by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. Humid afternoon in Arlington. The Rangers had a scare in the top of the first as the A's loaded the bases. But Travis Buck struck out, and now here come the Rangers against Dallas Braden, one of the many lefties that the A's have in their rotation. Josh Outman gets bumped because of the rain out yesterday, so it's next man up, the next lefty. This is actually the opening day lefty for the Oakland A's. And Ian Kinsler fouls one upstairs.
Dallas Braden's off to a good start. He's 2-2. The A's have been shut out in 2 of his 4 starts, so he hasn't had support, but he's got a nice ERA, 2.52. A little sneaky with his fastball, 87 miles an hour. First time and second time through the lineup, really good. After that, might get a little bit tired. Good pickoff move, another attribute that Braden has.
The A's top to bottom were good at that last year. Of course, they had Greg Smith, who had 16 pickoffs all by himself last year. Braden was second in the AL with 7. But first things first, you got to get on. And as you hinted at, not an easy proposition the way Dallas Braden's been throwing the ball.
He was a 24th round pick back in 2004. He has pitched in the big leagues in parts of 07 and 08 with Oakland. In 07, he was 1-8 with a 6.72 ERA. Last year, much better, 5-4, 4.14, 19 games, 10 starts. In his last 3 starts, he's given up 2 earned runs or less, and his ERA is under 2. And you can see from watching him that he's one of those lefties that really knows how to pitch, even though he's a young guy. He's only 25 years old. Not an exceptionally hard thrower.
Kinsler, bouncing ball smothered by Crosby, gets up. He's made a tremendous play. He was supposed to be playing first base. He's actually by trade a shortstop, but over at third, kind of a surprise position for him today. What a play he just made.
Yeah, that ball came up, which made it a very tough play to catch the hop. Somehow he made the dive, made the play, made the throw, and robbed Ian of a base hit. No lineup switch, having him back at third base didn't hurt. Although Eric Chavez, if he's playing third, is a Gold Glover himself.
the low underhand toss. Seemingly the easy play, but not really. Marlon Byrd is out. And the rest of the way here, brought to you by Southwest. Michael Young hits third in the order, then Andrew Jones. Back to Marlon Byrd for a moment, who's normally been hitting the ball real well here in Arlington. Young, Jones, Blaylock, Cruz, Davis, Saltalamacchia, and Andrews against Dallas Braden. Braden used a screwball as a strikeout pitch in the minors. They told him once he got up to the big leagues, you don't really need to be messing around with that. As you mentioned, Tag, he was a 24th round pick, played some college ball at Texas Tech. Michael Young can't connect. You know, the curveball from Brett Anderson on Tuesday was a pitch that the Rangers looked at a lot. 6 times the Rangers were called out on strikes in that game. 5 times with Anderson on the mound, and 4 of those 5, it was a curveball that froze the Rangers. That continues to be one of the slow starting spots for the Rangers here in 09. More strikeouts than they'd like to have, and too few walks.
His fastball looks very sneaky. If you just look at the number, 86 to 89 is not impressive, but if you look at the swings, most of the swings at his fastball are a little bit late, whether they're having a hard time picking it up or got that sneaky little hop to it.
Three and 2 to Michael Young. Andrew Jones on deck, and Michael will send it foul into the stands. The Rangers, I mean, when they do make contact, obviously some good things are happening. They lead the majors in home runs by 9. They've got 39 home runs already through 20 games. If you're a Ranger fan, you know they've had some great hitting teams, but through 20 games, no Ranger team has ever had more than 34 home runs. Here are the Rangers with 39. They've got a half a dozen already from Michael Young. All up and down this lineup, Tag. I mean, the home run numbers, starting with Kinsler. You got 7, 2, 6, 2, 5, 5. Another 5, a 2. Andrews is low man with 1. Everybody for the A's is either 0, 1, or 2. Suzuki couldn't hang on. Still 3 and 2 here. So hitting the long ball and getting some great pitching from a couple guys in particular, Millwood and Frankie Francisco. They combined in that win back on Tuesday against these Oakland A's. Now Kevin Millwood, 121 pitches in that game, Tag. That's the most he has pitched in a ball game since July of 2002.
Well, it was good to see Kevin pitch that deep into the ball game. Saved the bullpen an inning or 2, and he pitched after he had hurt his finger. But that was a good at bat for Michael.
Real good at bat. Michael Young slots it on in the left, bringing up Andrew Jones.
Looked like he bent back one of his fingernails that caused a little bit of bleeding. Trainers went out, checked it out, but he stayed in the game. And probably from pitch 110 to pitch 120 plus, he was still throwing the ball 92, 93 miles an hour. I think that's one of the strong points for Kevin all season long. He's pitched deeper into the games, thrown more pitches in the games than at any time in his Ranger career, and he's been just as strong at the end as he has been at the beginning. So it's not like he's on fumes at the end of the game, barely hanging in there. He's still throwing well when he comes out of the game.
Millwood now in 5 starts has reached the 7-inning mark all 5 times. So he's 5 for 5 in that pursuit. Last year, the longest stretch he had was 2 games in a row where he could go 7 innings. So the improved conditioning, whatever else he's done, bravo. Just seemed like he bulldozed his way through those 8 innings. You know, just did not want to come out. After the 11-pitch at bat that Michael Young put on Dallas Braden, Andrew Jones starts working the count too.
And Andrew's done a good job of working the count this year. He's been up 29 times. He's walked 9 times. He leads the team in walks, even though he hasn't played every day.
Pops this one towards right. Travis Buck will put it away, and the Rangers strand Michael Young. We're at the end of one today here in Arlington. There is no score.
Found the community corner. That's the great Jim Sundberg, and he brought his fan club with him. How about that? Huh? Look at these guys. Can you control them?
I can't.
We're here to talk about All-Stars. There we go. Very nice. See, he's got the movement right there.
They respond right away to me. We just, watch.
He's like the fan club maestro right here. Okay, we're here to talk in the community corner about All-Stars Among Us, and that gets underway now.
It does, Jim, and it's a great program, a combined program between People Magazine, MLB, a national campaign that's just started, and it's to recognize people that are involved in the community, service-minded people, and you can go online and vote for somebody, vote for yourself, vote for somebody, and then in June there will be they'll take the top 3 people, and there'll be an online voting at that time. And when it comes to the All-Star break, every team will have 1 representative, and then they'll pick 1 person that will be nominated as the premier person for community mindedness in the United States.
That is awesome. So 1 person from each team has a chance to go to the All-Star game. It's those making a difference in the community. Get online now and vote for that. How do they vote? What's the website?
The website right here is peopleallstars.com, and so go on there and get started.
All right, one more time for the Jim Sundberg fan club. There we go. Very nice. Good to see you, Jim.
Right, thank you.
That really is something how he can get that done. Landon Powell flies out to left field. Landon, by the way, is from Josh Hamilton's hometown, Apex, North Carolina. And that's kind of a weird one that Landon Powell would get in the game, but Hambone still can't, unfortunately, with that rib cage situation. Bobby Crosby hammers one by Andrews for a hit. The Josh Hamilton update last we are hearing, I guess, Tag, is that he's getting better, he's feeling better, but he's just not quite to the point yet where he can get going. And the Rangers certainly want to err on the side of caution. You got a valuable piece of property right there in Josh Hamilton. You don't want to hurry him back before he's ready.
Nope.
Eric Patterson just brought up from AAA Sacramento. The A's had to put Mark Ellis and Nomar Garciaparra on the DL. Both guys strained their calves in the front part of the ball game on Tuesday. The A's they suffered 4 injuries in that game. I don't mean to laugh. 4 injuries in that game. That's incredible. Calf, blister, and ankle in that order. They had to use the DL twice. And this guy at the plate here, Eric Patterson, is one of the men they brought up. Rangers were down 3-1 in that game on Tuesday. They came back to win 5-4, and that's been kind of a recurring theme of late. The Rangers find a way in the late innings to overtake the opposition. In there, Padilla strikes out Patterson.
Good movement on that pitch. That ball looked like it went from left to right about 6 inches. And again, Vicente not with his normal velocity today. So he's, instead of his 4-seam fastball, he's throwing a lot of sinkers with good movement on it. So in the absence of velocity, he's showing a lot of movement, mixing in his off-speed pitches, and so far so good.
Ryan Sweeney will take strike 1. Yeah, that one again right where he wanted it to be. Sweeney and Suzuki are really the only 2 A's hitting with any kind of consistency for them right now. We mentioned Sweeney's got a 9-game hitting streak, and he pounds that one towards center. Marlon Byrd is under it, and a much easier inning for Padilla this time in the second. Zeros at the ballpark. Bottom of the second and coming up. Fans get a replica of the Nolan Ryan 5,000th strikeout statue. It is out there in Sports Park, Vandergrift Plaza. That is all courtesy of Southwest Airlines. 972 Rangers, number to call to make sure you've got your tickets. Or you can go online, TexasRangers.com. That statue was unveiled almost exactly. Hang on that. Blaylock is going to just miss down the right field line. Thought he had it. There is the statue of which we speak, the Toby Mendez statue. The great unveiling in 1997. on May the 2nd, just after the actual anniversary of the 7th Nolan Ryan no-hitter. Strike 3 called. Blaylock down on strikes.
Just about a perfect pitch.
From a guy that admits he was kind of a screw up as a kid. Didn't take baseball seriously, didn't take schoolwork that seriously at first. Says it wasn't until he moved in with his grandmother in Stockton, California, that he really started taking anything seriously. His grandma ran the Quality Inn Hotel in Stockton. That was Dallas Braden's home for 2 years in high school. Lived at the Stockton Quality Inn.
Wow. Well, if he keeps pitching like this, he's going to be taking his paychecks pretty seriously in a couple of years. He's having off to a really nice start this year. 2 earned runs or less in his last 3 starts. 1 earned run in 2 of them. A's, as we said, have been shut out in 2 of his 4 starts, so he hasn't had a lot of support. That's why he's 2-2, but he's pitched well in all 4 of his starts.
Nelson Cruz hoisting it to left field. That ball taken off.
Boy, there's maybe 9 or 10 of those this year for Nelly. Sky high balls to the warning track that he hits on the good part of the bat and just misses him. Just barely got underneath this ball.
Holiday had to keep drifting back and back on it, but he had the room.
Save those for Boston.
Right. Chris Davis certainly with home run potential. In fact, he's homered in 3 of his last 6 games. But he's another guy just trying to make more consistent contact for Rudy Jaramillo and Ron Washington. 33 strikeouts already for Davis. That leads the American League by 8. Wave and a miss, 1-2. The Rangers will end up making up that game that was rained out last night next time the A's come to town. And that is right at the end of May. So May 29th, Friday, is now a 4:05 doubleheader. Have you written that in your day planner yet? I have not, to be honest with you. I got to make sure I do that.
No, I have not written that in yet. So I'll be here at least for the second game. Probably get here partway through the first.
What time can you make it? We'll kind of work the whole thing around your schedule.
I try to get here by 4.
All right.
That should be all right.
Davis waits out a walk. And again, as the Rangers look to just tweak things to the best that they can as we turn that calendar page into May. More walks, fewer strikeouts. That's just kind of a team collective goal right now.
Well, that was an at-bat. Talking about that, Josh, where he was behind, Chris was behind in the count and then laid off 2 breaking balls that maybe earlier in the season he might have swung at. Pitches out of the strike zone and ended up with a strikeout. That time he worked a walk by laying off both of those pitches.
Salty gets the red out, and now he's good to go. And he is coming on. He's 8 for his last 15 at bats. Last homestand tag, we were talking about Salty hitting in the 180s. Now he's in the 280s.
Yep. Yeah, a great series in Baltimore.
Defensively too, right?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I don't know that Jared has had a bad defensive game. He's 4 out of 6 throwing out runners. I think when you don't notice the catcher, you can pretty much assume that he's doing a pretty good job. It means balls aren't bouncing out of his glove. He's not chasing balls back to the screen.
That's a good point.
So I think Jared, so far this year, has been the kind of catcher. You've noticed the really good things he's done, throwing out runners and blocking some great pitches. But other than that, just kind of blending into the game, which is, I think, what you want to see your catcher do.
Just like with umpires, right? If you don't notice them, they're doing a great job.
Must be doing well. And Taylor Teagarden was like that the other night. Caught a real nice game. The game that Matt Harrison pitched. And when Matt turned it around like that, he deserves a lot of the credit. But Ron Washington places a lot of emphasis on the catcher helping the pitcher through those times.
What was it Casey Stengel said when he was building the Mets? He said, you got to start building your team with a catcher, because without a catcher, you'd have all pass balls.
Well, actually, I guess you'd have wild pitches.
Boy, Salty takes, and that one is a called third strike. So the Rangers right back to what was happening Tuesday. Called third strikes. There were 2 of them in that inning. 1 man left. We are at zeros at the end of 2. AT&T. Switch to the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered.
Taylor Teagarden, number 2, now catching for the Rangers.
Taylor Teagarden's going to come into the game to catch. In Saltalamacchia, we saw him go over to Rangers assistant athletic trainer Kevin Harmon right before that at bat to get some eye drops. And I would have to think that if you can't see real well, it's tough to catch Vicente Padilla. It's tough to hit a fastball. So the Rangers making an adjustment here. Will endeavor to find out exactly what's up with Salty.
Well, earlier in the season, Jared had to come out of a game with vertigo. That didn't look like that was the case right there.
There's Cabrera dumping one into the right field corner. He is starting to hit again. Leading off the third with a double against Padilla. He is 4 out of 6 with a walk in this series now. And we were talking about him a bit on Tuesday, Tag. He was basically unemployed until spring training got going. The A's took him for, I think, what a lot of people thought was cents on the dollar.
Oh, I think the A's were happy to get him, too.
The shift is on for Cust again. And thanks to Mark Reynolds in Arizona, Cust settled for just the American League record for strikeouts in one season last year. He had 197 strikeouts, but as always, he was right up there among the league leaders in walks. Yes, he did. On appeal, says Eric Cooper. There were a couple stretches last year that Jack Cust struck out 19 games in a row. Happened to him twice. But as we always come back to with Cust, when he does connect, sometimes it is really impressive. Sending that one deep to right field. Nelson Cruz back, and it gets kind of thumbtacked up there in the wind. Nelly fires towards third, a little wide of the mark. Cabrera able to move to third on a deep, high fly ball by Jack Cust.
Well, Nelly hit one just like that to left field, and now he catches one to right field. From Cust's point of view, he does move the runner to third base with one out, so he got that job done.
Infield comes in about halfway for Matt Holliday. He's out hitting the Rangers 3-1.
Every time an outfielder for the Rangers makes a throw, you almost expect them to throw somebody out. They're so good at it. Nelly was just so far back that time. No way you're going to throw someone out from the warning track in right field.
With the infield in, Kinsler's got a shot coming home. T. Gordon the tag, and they got him.
Oh, what a beautiful play. When you're halfway, it's still not a foregone conclusion that you can make the play at the plate. The A's made the decision that they were going to go on contact at third base. They were going to try to score even if the ball was hit to the infield. So watch how quickly Ian has to get rid of this ball. He doesn't have time to step and throw. He's got to flip it almost like he's turning a double play because Cabrera runs pretty well. And then you have to make an accurate throw. If that throws offline a little bit, then Cabrera probably beats it. As it was, Rangers get a big out.
Oh, the base is loaded in the first. Padilla struck out Buck. That was a big play. And now Kinsler. And, you know, he had to get rid of it just that quickly, too, as he cuts down the incoming Cabrera.
If you've got the infield in all the way in on the grass, then the A's wait and say to the runner, you've got to make sure the ball gets through.
Into center field and scooped up by Marlon Byrd. His throw to third base was at least challenging. Matt Holliday able to get around to third, but you saw how Marlon approached that one. He kind of took that little crow hop so he could come up with some energy behind the throw.
Suzuki had a nice season last year. He's off to an even better season in April, hitting over .330.
Suzuki was hit by Padilla in the first. Now he turns around and hits Padilla here in the third. Buck has refined his look a little bit, but I know since you watch Lost, Tag, I'm looking at his picture up on the scoreboard, and that's Sawyer. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he does a little bit. Well, I've got 3 of them T-vote. I want to watch that before we go on the road. I think that's what I'm going to do tonight.
Really?
Yeah, thanks for reminding me.
No problem. That's why I'm here. Sawyer's behind in the count 0-2.
Lost, really, if you have a little trouble following it like I do, you're better off TiVoing 3 at a time and watch them all together. You kind of keep track of what's going on a little bit better than trying to remember from week to week.
I've lost track completely. I just watch it like I'm 9 years old and go, whoa, yeah, look at that. That thing just blew up.
That's what I do, too. That's the only way you can do it.
I don't know what anything means on that show anymore.
No. Still good, though, even doing it that way.
I hope so. Inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Buck. Once the new season of Entourage is out, that's when you and I.
Yeah, you don't have to sit there and think too much for that. Just have to hope the kids or your wife aren't there listening along with it.
Earmuffs, Kobe. Earmuffs.
We do not recommend that show to the people who may not like salty language.
Right. One more time. Travis Buck takes a look. That's how the first inning ended as well. No score, bottom 3. far today. The A's left the bases loaded in the first, left runners at the corners in the third, and both times it was Travis Buck taking a called third strike to end the threat. Rangers will try to ignite a threat of their own right now. Elvis Andrus already has scored 11 runs. That's the most of any American League rookie. I like innings where Andrus leads off from that 9 spot, because if he gets on, well, he's got a chance to run while Kinsler is up there swinging the bat.
Yeah, it's nice to have a speed guy like that. Saw we're a team in the National League. I won't even remember who the player was now. I think it was Joe Torre put Juan Pierre 9th and the pitcher 8th for that very same reason, so that Pierre would be the hitter ahead of the leadoff hitter. Tony La Russa started that a few years ago. I'm sure others have done it occasionally.
Oh, come on back, Elvis. Well, the Rangers have shown already this year, even though they're packed with power, they do like to run as well. They've got 18 steals, have been caught only twice.
I like the fact that Elvis would take that 3-1 pitch too. Most hitters are wailing away at 3-1, but you know, to start an inning, make the pitcher throw 3 straight strikes, trying to get on base any way you can.
Might have helped Braden out a little bit with that one, kind of extending to poke it towards second base. That'll bring up Kinsler, and yeah, Kinsler's got 7 steals already this year to go with 7 home runs. Ian robbed over at third base by Bobby Crosby back in the first inning, and Ian now sitting at an 0 for 17. He's 4 for his last 34. But he had a lot to work with. That batting average is still .322. Lifting that one to left, Matt Holliday drifting on it. He's got it.
Another sneaky fastball by Braden. That was a good example of it right there. Fastball was in a little bit. Ian got tied up, hit a little bit off the handle, just kind of muscled it out there. Braden's a good little pitcher. You can tell watching him pitch out there. He's got a good idea what he's doing. He's got a good changeup. See him throw a slider. He's got an effective fastball too, even though it's not a 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
Bird goes after the first one, and towards the right field seats it goes. Marlin doesn't consider himself a home run hitter, but sometimes he will absolutely step into one. That is a base hit into right center field by a diving, lunging Eric Patterson.
Yeah, most guys that aren't home run hitters, when they run into one, it goes about 360 feet. Marlin occasionally runs into one that goes about 440.
Ask Woody Williams, late of the Houston Astros, gave up the 450-footer to him a couple of summers ago, and that was, you're right, during a stretch where he hadn't homered in a long time.
Well, he hit that ball hard. Pretty good pitch too, down and away.
Brings up Michael Young, who had an 11-pitch at bat his first time, and he won out with a single to left. Of course, we're used to seeing Michael hit the ball to right and right center a lot. In the 2009 tag, I went and looked at this. The last 1,000 baseballs that Michael Young had put in play, 250 of those to left or left center. In other words, 3 out of 4 balls in play from Michael Young are not what you'd call pulled. Either up the middle or over there in the right field.
Well, I wouldn't have known those exact numbers, but based on just visual observations over the years, you would expect it to be that way. That's what it feels like watching Michael hit. Center fielder generally shades to the right side of second base, and that's where Sweeney is right now.
but he goes to left just enough that he certainly keeps you honest that way. He's hit the walk-off home run here against Kansas City. He buried that into the left center bleachers.
Yeah, I think what Michael does is he stands off the plate. He drives the pitch away to right field. Pitchers like to pitch him away, but if he gets the kind of pitch that he can pull, then he will.
Young down on strikes. That one dialed down to the mid-70s for velocity, and Michael is a strikeout victim to end the third. There is still no score. Now 17 of 17, as a matter of fact. Who among active players has the most steals of third base? That's an underrated weapon right there, the steal of third. With less than 2 out, get over there, and a sac fly all of a sudden will get her done. Boy, look at that 56-mile-an-hour lollipop from Vicente
First
Padilla.
blooper ball of the day for Vicente. Vicente's really had to use everything he's got today to get out of these innings. He's been in trouble 2 out of 3 innings, has not had a 1-2-3 inning. The highest velocity he's reached is 90, which is 4 or 5 miles an hour lower than normal. And so he's thrown a lot of sinkers, a lot of breaking balls. There's a splitter or a changeup. And he's really having to pitch today to figure out how to get out of these innings. But so far he's been able to do it.
He has struggled a bit against lefties coming into this game today. Lefties having a .390 batting average against him. A short sample here. We're only 20 games into the season. Vinny's pitched 4 of them. This particular lefty, Landon Powell, will hit one high in the air to right field. Nelly Cruz is there. Doing a fairly good job against the lefties today. Has struck out Travis Buck twice, just got Landon Powell.
Good friend Bill Harvey is here today. There's Bill. Bill used to be one of the owners of the Rangers back in the days of Brad Corbett. He's at the game today with the president of Food for Hunger from Phoenix, a gentleman named Bib Holman. Bill, thanks for being here.
Got a nice crowd today on a Thursday afternoon. Crosby jumps at that one, lines it to left. We saw a 64-mile-an-hour and a 62-mile-an-hour bloop pitch come in there.
Well, Vicente can throw a curveball at a lot of different speeds. The real high, slow one is in the 50s. This is somewhere in between in the 60s. It's a pretty good location to hit. And Crosby had a pretty good swing at it, but he hit it right straight to Jones in left field. Pitch total is pretty manageable even after a 21 pitch first inning.
Boy, he is in love with that curveball right now.
You know, it's working for him, and I think you have to give Vicente credit. He's a power pitcher who doesn't have his power today, and so he's pitching. He's pitching a different way. This is not the traditional game you expect, the style anyway that you'd expect from Vicente. So he's having to figure out a way other than with velocity to get the hitters out.
We are admiring his improvisational skills from up here.
It's a different style, but it's working so far.
Taking on the former Chicago Cubs prospect here, Eric Patterson, younger brother of Corey Patterson. And the son of a guy who played in the NFL for a couple of years. Was a defensive back with the Lions and the New York Giants. Don Patterson. Popped in a shallow center. Back is Andrews. And Vicente Padilla has found a way to keep the A's off the scoreboard here. 0-0. Bottom of the fourth coming up. Steals of third. Ian Kinsler now 17 of 17 trying to do that in his major league career. But among active players, Omar Vizquel has done it 86 times. And, you know, they say it's a daring play, oftentimes a very heady play. I think those are adjectives that can describe Omar right there.
That's for sure.
How about stealing home, though? Jacoby Ellsbury, the straight steal of home the other day.
Yeah, that's something you don't see very often. I don't know if you see it once a year. I guess you probably do.
Back in the days of Ty Cobb was a master at it. They've said 54 times did he steal home. That's amazing.
Well, one thing the pitchers do, I think, much more today than back then and even 30 years ago, is they pitch from the stretch, not the windup with a man on third base, and that pretty much eliminates the opportunity.
That ball popped by Andrew Jones into the crowd. Well, you know, recently baseball honored Jackie Robinson. Does that every April 15th is Major League Baseball. Jackie Robinson had 12 pure steals of home. That is, just take that big daring lead and race in.
Famous one was the World Series one with Yogi Berra arguing so badly.
And the last guy to do it kind of on a, you know, at least once a year kind of basis was probably Rod Carew. There was a season I think he might have done it as many as 7 times.
Yeah, Rod Carew was really good at that. He got a big lead. Obviously he could run too, but he really had great timing to do that. My favorite base stealing exploit occurred back in the early 70s with Davey Nelson.
Okay.
I believe it was against Milwaukee. Davey got on first base, I think it was the first inning, too. Stole second, stole third, stole home. One right after the other for a run.
He stole for the cycle.
He stole for the cycle, all in the first inning.
Nothing more exciting than that, boy.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't have many fans back then, but the ones that were there got a rare treat when they can see something like that. I don't know if you'll ever see that again.
Of course, the A's all those years with Ricky Henderson. You know, you never knew when he'd take off and go. Tomorrow's the anniversary of the game where he actually eclipsed Lou Brock and became the all-time leader. Today I am the greatest of all time.
Well,
is what Ricky said. He was. And those who knew Ricky, the only surprise was he didn't say today Ricky is the greatest of all time. He was Mr. Third Person before Deion Sanders was even on the scene. Josh isn't a big fan of that, Tag.
Tom doesn't really care one way or the other.
Somewhere George is getting upset. That one is down and in. Andrew Jones with another walk.
Yep, there's not a Ranger who's working the count and waiting for a good pitch to hit in April better than Andrew Jones. That's his 10th walk.
Well, put it this way. He's got 10. Bird, Blaylock, Saltalamacchia, and Andrews combined have 7. And those guys are everyday players pretty much.
Yeah, and Andrew, yeah, you're right. He's probably played about half the time. That's just a real credit to the quality of his at-bats.
There's no way you can compare these two guys really that I'm about to try and compare anyway. But, you know, the Rangers last year around this time, we were saying the same thing about Milton Bradley. He'd be hitting cleanup, wasn't playing every day, but by far he was leading the team in walks at the end of April. And hitting for power.
Yep.
And was a pleasant surprise.
Well, the Rangers have had that over the last 4 or 5 years. Sammy Sosa was a pleasant surprise, not necessarily for working the count, but based on expectations. Last year was Milton Bradley, and this year it looks like there's a real good chance it's going to be Andrew Jones.
Well, think about this. I mean, Andrew Jones last year, he goes to the Dodgers. It's that 2-year, $32 million deal, and the expectations are just obviously huge. He ends up hitting 158. And he said, just, you know, from the get-go, he said, I was booed my first game. And it just set a real ugly tone for that year. It's a broken bat for Blaylock.
Boy, that's similar to the one that the umpire was hitting Toronto with. That bat broke, and it went right straight past the umpire into foul territory. Not much difference between that and the one that happened in Toronto. Take a look at it. Watch the bat. It's going to go right straight over the umpire's head. And the umpire behind home plate is Angel Campos, and he's going to duck, but he ducks well after that bat has already gone by.
Yeah, if he'd come up out of his crouch just a little bit sooner, he would have had what happened to Kerwin Danley.
Yeah, thank goodness he avoided that.
Line shot foul by the hammer.
A lot of foul balls from the Rangers today. It's gotten Braden's pitch count up there a little bit.
The A's bullpen, though, as we've talked about in this series, has been great. One of the few things the team is doing real well, these Oakland guys. They're in today at 7 and 11. Here's Crosby reaching. Can't get it.
I got it in his hat. Tried to put the hat on with a ball in it.
That's probably not going to work, is it?
It's going to bounce right out of the dugout.
Let's see here.
Boink. Take a bounce on the dugout.
Wow, right in the hat.
Into the hat.
You are not allowed to do that if you're an actual player on the field.
No.
You cannot catch a ball in your hat. To first base, Landon Powell, high throw. They do get the out at second, but not at first. A high throw cost him. So Blaylock takes over running for Andrew Jones, and the hitter will be Nelly Cruz. Nice adjustment by Cabrera to get up and get it and then come down and find the bag. We're talking about stolen bases tag. Hank Blaylock doesn't steal that many of them anymore. You look back into his days in the minor leagues, though. His first year, full year at Single A, he stole 31 bases, Hank Blaylock did. Wow. He's got 11 total as a major leaguer. And he's been up in the big league since 2002.
Probably a combination of things going on there. I think most players run better when they're 20 than they do when they're 30. Catchers aren't quite as good, and the pitchers don't hold runners quite as good. Quite as well.
3-0 to Nelly Cruz. Do you turn Nelly loose 3-0 here?
Sure.
Kinsler was swinging 3-0 the other night.
You hope with the idea that you look for a certain pitch and you don't just swing for the sake of swinging, but if you get your pitch
like that, base hit.
You know, that if Nelly could kind of combine that trajectory with the high fly he hit in the first inning
right,
and put it together, he'd have a 440-foot home run. But he hit both of those right on the good part of the bat. Not a terrible pitch. It's down, but Nelly had a good swing at it and really hit it hard.
Kurt Young is going to head out there and have a word with Dallas Braden, the Oakland pitching coach. The Chicago White Sox come in starting tomorrow. And Scott Feldman will make that start for the Rangers. We get to see Mark Burley, the lefty who no-hit the Rangers a couple of Aprils ago.
He's had a couple of interesting games against the Rangers. More than that, but two to come to mind. The no-hitter and then the one here where he accused the Rangers of stealing the signs from the office building when he got bombed. The Rangers have seen both sides of him.
Yeah, he was an unhappy camper here in Arlington that afternoon. The White Sox are in a bizarre tie in the AL Central right now. Check your Jack-in-the-Box standings. That's about as close as you can get in a race. 3 11-10s and 1 11-11.
You know, the funny thing is, you go to the National League Central, they've got 4 teams. One's 11-9, 10-9, 10-10, and 10-10. So the two Central divisions are pretty much bunched up around 500, right in the 10 area, wins and losses.
Yep, if you're in the heartland, you're pretty much 500 proposition right now.
Got St. Louis, the exception. They're 14-7. Cleveland's 8-13.
Davis, a big rip and a miss. Yeah, there are some surprising teams all around baseball right now. I think the Pirates being over 500, the Padres being over 500, the Marlins, even though they've kind of spun out, they're 4 games over still. And you got Seattle in first place in the West. Toronto have the best record in the entire AL. Two-2 pitch. Got him. Strike 3 called. Well, the Rangers in, let's see here, about 11 innings in this series they've been up. They have been called out on strikes now 9 times.
Oh, it actually did get the rectangle. And remember, it's not where the catcher catches it or where it goes by the hitter, even though it did look to go above Chris's right knee. It's where it goes by the plate. Most hitters stand well behind the plate, and almost every ball is going down. as the catcher catches it. It's lower where the catcher catches it than it is several feet in front of him where the plate is.
First at bat for Taylor Teagarden. We're told that Saltalamacchia, by the way, left with an irritated eye. And for Chavez, by the way, he was a late scratch. That was a forearm strain. Oh, and 2 to the former Texas Longhorn, Taylor Teagarden. He'll check and he'll take off the plate outside.
Braden's at 83 pitches. This pitch will be 84. He's averaging over 20 pitches per inning. So even though he's not giving up a run and only giving up 3 hits, his pitch count is relatively high.
Young started that tone in the first inning, that 11 pitch at bat. Andrews on deck, but for now Teagarden with 2 on, 2 out. And the ultimate deuce is wild here. 2 on, 2 out, 2-2, number 2 at the plate. Three balls, 2 strikes, and you like this because the runners will be in motion now. Full count, 2 down. Rangers seeing a lot of left-handed starters on this homestand. I'll see a couple in the White Sox series coming up. John Danks, Mark Burley. Today's menu item, Dallas Braden, the opening day starter for the A's. That one moving down and in.
Good at bat, patient at bat. A lot like the at bat Andrew Jones had to lead the inning off.
Teagarden takes it from 0-2 to full to the walk. Bob Guerin, the Oakland manager. Elvis Andrus, the Ranger hitter. And you saw Guerin with the instructions for Suzuki to eventually go out there and talk it up with Dallas Braden.
Braden this year has not thrown 100 pitches in a game. He's thrown 97, 95, 97, and 84. His next pitch will be number 88.
Boy, just in the 4th inning.
Yeah.
And the bullpen is starting to stir for the A's.
So based on the first 4 games of the season, he will be probably above the amount of pitches he's thrown in any one of those games. Possibly in this inning, but almost definitely in the 5th inning.
Ball 1. Kinsler looms on deck. The Rangers gunning for a winning April, something that has eluded them the last couple of years. They've been 10-15 and 10-17. This year they're 10-10. And it's going to tilt either up or down within about an hour and a half here. Got it in there, 1-2. The rookie shortstop trying to break open a scoreless game here in the bottom of the fourth. Dallas Braden wins out, though. The Rangers leave him loaded, just like the A's did back in the first. Still nothing. We've got you under our wing, and by Heineken. Give yourself a good name. Vicente Padilla has forced the A's to strand 6. This game still scoreless into the 5th inning today. Josh Lewin, Tom Grieve, our intrepid roving reporter Jim Knox. Thanks for being with us today on what's turning into a nice day for baseball. There was some rain in the area yesterday, boy, and even early this morning. Did you guys get some thunder about 6 a.m. today in Arlington?
We got a lot of rain, but we didn't get the thunder. I don't have a lot of rain, but we definitely got the rain, and we must have been on the edge of it because I didn't hear the thunder.
Or you're a really sound sleeper.
Probably not at 6. Like at 3, 3:30, 4ish, pretty sound. 6, not quite so sound.
You've done your 500 jumping jacks by 6 a.m.
No, I'm trying to kind of sleep till 7, but sometimes it's a struggle.
Padilla trying for that outside corner, couldn't quite get it over. Sweeney a single back in the first. 1 out of 2 today. On the ground, first base, and a big friendly hop. Chris Davis will take.
Chris made that look like a routine play. It's a little tougher than that. That was a hard hit ball.
Over to the line to get that thing done. Cabrera coming up. We go to Jim Knox.
Right, thank you, Josh. Look who we have here. It's former Cowboy. It's Chad Hennings on hand, and he was actually working before the game talking to the homeschool resource program.
Yeah, it was a bunch of students as well as parents that homeschooled their children, and I talked to them a little bit about goal setting, integrity, character, morals, values, the whole thing.
Everything you learned at Air Force.
Everything I learned at the Air Force and at the Air Force Academy, you bet.
All right, you also got to throw out the first pitch. What was that like? A little nervous?
Nervous, but my main goal is just to get it across the plate. And not to pull any muscles, not to throw my back out, shoulders, or whatever. All
right, we were talking a little while ago, guys. He played just about every position growing up in baseball. I think he'd make a great first baseman. What are you doing now besides pitching foundation repairs?
Aside from a lot of motivational speaking stuff, talking on leadership and commitment, I'm also in commercial real estate with Stream Realty Partners. So modeling my career a little bit after my mentor, Roger Staubach, in that aspect.
Yeah, that's a great mentor to model your career after. All right, good to see you, Chad. Appreciate the time. Thank you, Josh.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Chad. Outland Trophy, his senior year at Air Force. Chad Hennings.
It's a pretty impressive guy right there.
Yep, absolutely. He was a 27-year-old rookie with the Cowboys. Two 2-0 the count to Jack Cust. Make it 2-1 as Padilla, as of right now, has retired 6 straight. Both teams have stranded 6 today. This game doesn't have quite the rhythm of a scoreless battle in the 5th. You know,
there's been a lot of base runners. You're right. The pitchers have battled a lot. I don't know that I've seen Vicente pitch a game like this for the Rangers, where he's used so many different pitches, so many different speeds, and here he is in the 5th inning, hasn't given up a run yet. So it's a credit to him that on a day when he doesn't have his normal velocity, he can pitch around that using a different style.
Whoa.
Oh, I don't know about that. That looked pretty good.
Padilla was off the mound thinking he had it all but completed here to get out of the 5th.
Well, he's made a lot of pitches just like this. The sinker in that comes back and catches the inside corner. That one didn't quite get there, but it was close. Number 5, good call by Angel Campos.
See it on the Steel pitch tracker. And now he misses in. Go back to the Chad Hennings pregame activity, throwing out that first pitch.
Not bad. Pretty good first pitch.
And a pretty high level of respect by who's out there catching for him, too. A strike to Holiday, 1-1. On the ground, Michael Young cuts in front of Andrews. Quick flip to second base. And that will do it. Bottom of the 5th coming up. The Rangers have the top of the order up when we come back. today. Folks, kids 13 and under can sign up for the Junior Rangers Club presented by Dr. Pepper. As a member of the Rangers Kids Fan Club, you'll receive 8 ticket vouchers, a chance to hear from Rangers players at a Meet the Rangers series. You get a backpack, you get a cap. If you're home from school today and you're watching, TexasRangers.com is where to get that done online. Dallas Braden continues on the mound, and Kinsler greets him with a base hit to left field. He breaks an 0 for 18.
Well, one thing, Josh, that we showed before the game in the scouting report was Braden's opponent batting average twice through the lineup was in the 230s, I believe. And after that, it went up over 300. Ian's had a chance to see him twice. And that sneaky fastball wasn't quite as sneaky the third time. He jumped on it and ripped it into left field. So that'll be something worth watching. And the fact that he's already at 92 pitches.
Drew Bailey, who we saw on Tuesday, getting ready.
And I'm sure Drew is happy to be warming up out in the bullpen instead of on the mound like he did in that game when he came in after the injury.
Another thing in our scouting report from earlier today is the guy with a good pickoff move. Kinsler's got to be careful.
Yeah, that's a variation of his pickoff move, that snap throw to first base. That keeps you from getting too far off because he can snap that thing over quickly.
Bird wailing away at a high fastball. Again with Josh Hamilton, he says he's feeling better, but not quite there yet. Banging into the wall in Toronto. That's how he got hurt. Well, the Rangers have done a nice job without him. The Rangers have made it a habit of winning the close ones. All these one-run wins that they're getting now. Firestone will show you the in-game box score here. Love the way the Rangers found a way to win that game on Tuesday. Didn't get a single extra base hit in that game. There's that snap throw, very close.
Be careful.
You know Kinsler wants to. He's got 7 steals already.
With that snap move and a pretty quick move to the plate, it looks like he'd be tough to get a jump on unless you guess right.
Ellsbury leads with 10 in the American League. Jacoby Ellsbury.
Unusual amount of foul balls today for the Rangers.
No, if you're a fan, you're liking that.
Yep. Good day for the fans. Tough day for Braden's pitch count, though. He's up to 97 pitches.
By the way, the leading stolen baseman in the National League, young Dexter Fowler of Colorado, he had 5 in one game.
Wow, I didn't see that.
5 of his 9. Marlin cranks it, but foul down the left side. Eric Young had a game for the Colorado Rockies where he stole 6 in a game. He was a fun guy to have on the Rangers, wasn't he?
He was great.
EY?
He was great.
Hard hit down that left field line. Kinsler racing to third. Dave Anderson holds him up. It is a double for Marlon Byrd. Second and third, and nobody out, and a great chance for Michael Young.
And Marlon just kept battling in that bat. He fouled off a lot of pitches. Then he ripped one foul and then got one he could handle, and Crosby tried to dive. He made a play earlier in the game to his left. This time he dove to his right, couldn't quite come up with it. A lot of balls up and out of the strike zone, but that was one Marlin could handle.
And that may well be it for Dallas Braden. 99 pitches to get 12 outs. And I mean, the remarkable thing about that is he's going to leave in a scoreless game. You figure if it takes you 99 pitches to get through 4 innings, you've given up like 5, 6, 7 runs.
Yep, a lot of long at bats, a lot of pitches per at bat in this game.
They got first base open. No move has been made quite yet.
I think he's just waiting to get the pitcher out there, a couple extra throws, but he's ready. He's not even throwing out there. Nope, he'll let him stay in there.
And I guess the discussion here has to be at least a little bit about what do you do with Michael Young with first base open. Jones and Blaylock after Mike. They're going to let the lefty stay out there and pitch to Michael Young. Ooh, rolled it onto the outside corner. Most years Michael's among the league leaders in hitting with runners in scoring position. It's been a slow start this year for him in that respect. Popping that one towards right. It's shallow. Patterson, the second baseman, in fair territory, makes the catch. Of course, Michael's had a lot of late inning theatrics. He's been getting clutch hits, no doubt. But the actual runners in scoring position number, not usually where it is.
Depending on how you view the matchups, you've got a lefty on the mound, a right-hand hitter, right-hand pitcher warming up, but a left-hand hitter coming up. And Braden has probably been their best pitcher in April, so I think he's given him every chance to stay in the game longer.
And here's where the strategy will come in now. They'll go ahead and walk the righty, set up the double play possibility with the lefty, and give Braden the chance to face Blaylock. Hank hit the ball pretty hard last inning, but on the ground to first base. There have been, for I don't know if for any explainable reason or not, Tag, but there have been a lot of grand slams being hit in the majors this year. Hank Blaylock has a chance to hit one right now. Three of those 5 career slams for Blaylock all hit in a stretch of about a month back in 2004. He has not yet had one against a lefty. A season high 107 pitches from Dallas Braden, trying to keep this game scoreless in the 5th. In the air, and again there's Patterson.
Another example of that effective fastball, only 87 miles an hour, but he jammed Hank, got the fastball in. All it was a little pop-up. So Braden probably 10 or 12 pitches more than he's thrown all year, but he's still hanging in there.
Boy, now what do? You've got the righty ready out there in the bullpen. You've got Nelly Cruz coming up, power hitting right-hander.
Yeah, this is where it's a tough call for the manager. He hasn't given up a run. It's 4 2/3. You want to give him a chance to win, get a win in the ball game. He is one of your better starters, so he's going to stick with him. But I'm sure he doesn't like this matchup as much as he would like the matchup of the right-hander who's out in the bullpen. Of course, the right-hander who's out in the bullpen walked a couple of guys, walked in a run in the game the other night.
Another pop-up. This time coming back this way. Nelly has hit the ball hard twice. He hit it hard in the 4th inning for sure. He hit it deep, I guess is the best way to say the other one. Hit it to the warning track and left. Second on the team with a half a dozen home runs.
The 2nd and 3rd, nobody out, and the infield back with Young, Jones, Blaylock, Cruz coming up. You sure don't want to see him pitch out of that jam.
Yeah, you get through this. That's something. You walked right through the Lions den. Last time Cruz had a 3-0 count. This time it's 0-2. And down he goes. That's 9 Rangers left on base in 5 innings. They leave them loaded in back-to-back innings, and we are still scoreless here in Arlington. By Amica Insurance. It's not just how you're covered, it's how you're treated. For more information, visit amicatexas.com. Back live, Kurt Suzuki takes the very first pitch of the inning off the wall in left center. Welcome back. It's a scoreless game, the Rangers and the A's. And Suzuki, who's been really doing a nice job here in this Oakland lineup, he just missed hitting one out. We'll show it to you in a moment here. He's been hit by a pitch today, and now he's 2 for 2.
He came into the game hitting .328.
He doubles off the wall in left, and now Travis Buck, who has struck out twice already with runners in scoring position. And now he's looking to bunt. That didn't go real well.
In that situation, all he's trying to do is get that runner over to third base in a scoreless game.
The fact that this game is still scoreless is really strange. The Rangers have stranded 9. The A's have stranded 7.
Yeah, second and third, nobody out with the middle of the order coming up is an unusual time to strand runners and not score, especially for the Rangers.
Now he's swinging, and he's behind 0-2. Buck took called third strikes in the first and third, once with the bases loaded, once with runners at the corners. Now he's got a runner at second base. Past the mound, slowly hit. Kinsler slings it across, and that works like a sacrifice, right? Gets that runner to third.
Yep, that's what he was trying to do with the bunt earlier in the count. That time he's just trying to hang in there. He's way out in front of the ball, hit it off the end of the bat, but accomplished what he wanted to do when he went up there.
Now the man from Josh Hamilton's hometown here is Landon Powell. Catcher slash first baseman, playing first base today. Infield in. Out of the University of South Carolina, where the Rangers got their top prospect Justin Smoke in last year's draft. In for a strike, 1-1. And again, Powell was not initially in the lineup for Bob Guerin today. When Eric Chavez had the strained forearm, everything got changed around. The hits are even 5 aside. The Rangers kicking themselves for letting one get away last half inning. Second and third, nobody out. Now Padilla comes back to even the score here, 2-2. Again with the infield in. Padilla deals. And a fly ball. Shallow center. Sinking fast. What a play! And now Marlon Byrd firing. Too late. That would have been something had they been able to get him. A tremendous catch.
It was a great catch. He just couldn't get his body under control because he had to go so hard just to make the catch. If he could have made the catch easier, which he couldn't because the ball was too shallow, then he could have had a more accurate throw. But it was a desperation throw as he was falling off balance, and he still almost made the play. But the big thing is just to catch the ball and then try to make the ball on the run. You can see him fall down as he threw the ball and still almost got him at the plate. Couldn't prevent the run, but it was a beautiful play to maybe prevent a big inning.
And, you know, I would think normally that's the ball that Marlon even leaves his feet for, but he knows in that situation if he dives,
yeah,
I mean, the run scores.
I think you're right.
But I'm with you. There's no way he can stop and square his body quick enough to really make that throw where it needed to be. 2 quick strikes now to Crosby.
The reason the ball went high and to the right like that is because he was drifting toward third base. He just couldn't stop and get under control.
Padilla thought he had Crosby right there, but did not get the call. Marlon tied for the team lead in outfield assists a year ago. He had 7. Now Crosby's down on strikes. The A's break through, though. They've got the first run of the day. The sac fly from Landon Powell has made it 1-0. $600 plus tickets to a Ranger game and dinner for two at Sonic. Good luck to Daphne Montier of right here in Arlington. If a Ranger hits the grand slam this inning, we're giving away $25,000. Rangers had a couple of shots to the bases loaded last inning, but Blaylock popped out, Cruz struck out. Now the Rangers find themselves behind 1-0, and Dallas Braden finds himself in position to win this game. Tag, he's done. Drew Bailey takes over.
I think that's one of the reasons Bob Guerin wanted to leave him in there in the 5th inning. He hadn't given up a run, even though he'd thrown so many pitches. But if he could get through the 5th, then he would have a chance to get a win, which he has now. And the way he's been pitching this year, he's now had 5 starts, 5 solid starts. He's not the kind of guy you want to take out in the middle of the 4th inning unless you have to.
One and 1 the count to Chris Davis. Yeah, Braden, 5 innings, 5 hits, 4 walks. So 9 base runners, but all of them stranded.
You saw Bailey in the first game with a good fastball and a good hard cutter, but he just wasn't able to throw strikes the way he had earlier. In fact, for most of the month, he just had a bad outing. Good stuff, just couldn't command it that well.
We're finally up to X-Men almost being in the theaters here. Two will drop down and outside. So again, full count's kind of the catch of the day. Davis for a 3rd time in 3 at-bats, looking at 3-2. On the ground, hard to first. The recovery made, and Davis is out. Remember, Landon Powell, most of the time, is a catcher, playing some first base on occasion. Taylor Teagarden comes up next. On the out-of-town scoreboard, Mr. Grieve, Kansas City leading Toronto 6-2. And incredibly, Marco Scutaro has hit another home run. Marco Scutaro, the A's cast-off, now has almost as many homers all by himself as the entire current Oakland A's team.
Pretty amazing.
Teagarden looking for his first of the year. Will send one out of play. Kansas City beat Toronto yesterday. That was Zach Greinke. Now, there was a streak of no earned runs, ended at 43 going back to last year. Greinke and Fernando Valenzuela, the only 2 pitchers since the early 1900s with no earned runs allowed, first 4 games of a season.
Wow. Well, he gave up 2 runs in 7 innings and ran his record in April to 5-0. That's a pretty good start.
5-0
projection?
Sure. Let's see. 6 months of a season.
33-0.
If Zach Greinke goes 33-0, I'll buy your lunch for 4 years every day.
All right. It's never happened before, and kind of unlikely, but I like the payoff, so I'm rooting for him.
Right.
No, because he'd have to beat us about 3 times too along the way.
I'm just saying. Teagarden waves and misses, and again, a little connectile dysfunction here for the Rangers today. Down on strikes 6 times, so the Rangers have walked 4 times. You think you could have a different lunch every day for an entire year? I'm just like a whole different combination of food.
Sure. You'd have to keep track of it, though. You probably need a computer, so 200 days from now you didn't duplicate it by mistake.
And not like a cheeseburger, but without onions.
Bobby Valentine told me one time that Derek Bell, who played for him, was a fashion horse, loved to wear nice clothes, and wore a different outfit for 162 days. And that includes socks, belts, everything. He had these huge trunks that he would take on the road and ship old clothes to friends and relatives. And so the players used to take pictures of him so that they could pin him on the wall to try to catch him wearing the same belt or the same pair of
And it
shoes.
never happened?
And they never did. That's according to Bobby. Now that, you got to be making a lot of money. And these weren't like Levi's and T-shirts. These are nice clothes. On the road, it's suits. At home, it's nice slacks.
That's impressive. It's weird, but it's impressive. Andrews popping out. No Sonic Slam winner and still no scoring for the Rangers yet. It's 1-0 Athletics. Told him about adapting to life in the bullpen. Everybody seems to think he will be making the transition to starter at some point reasonably soon, but everybody's definition of soon is just so different. I mean, soon could be early next year. Soon could be next month.
I got a feeling soon is sometime within the next couple of months. That would be my anticipation anyway.
In a perfect world, everybody's doing so well in the current rotation, you don't have to hustle it along, you know?
Well, that would be nice, too.
Patterson, the batter, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count to him. Excuse me, 2-1 the count to him. Or even 1-2. We frankly don't know. I believe it is now 2-2. That ball sent into right, and a base hit for the speedy Eric Patterson, a guy that had 9 steals at AAA over the first few weeks of the season. Top of the order coming up, Ryan Sweeney. We go to Jim Knox.
All right, Josh, scanning the park. I ran into Stephen Rose. He's been selling hot dogs here at the ballpark since 2009. He's also known around the park with the longest hot dog call. Go ahead, Stephen. Let's put a watch to it, Josh and Tom. Go ahead, Stephen.
Wow, that's impressive.
That's very
Close
good.
to a minute, maybe? All right, way to go, Stephen. Get back to work.
And Knox, he's been doing that since 2009?
Oxygen, yes, since 2009.
Thank you very much. Just checking. Michael Young creeps in at third. I would buy a hot dog from that young man.
I would too.
That's an
You see
impressive
the name on
marketing
the hot
tool.
dogs?
Sheriff Blaylock.
Sheriff Blaylock's Hot Dogs. Be a good nickname for Hank.
He can be the Hammer or the Sheriff. He can take his pick. Toss to first, and Patterson is back. You ever vended anything in a ball game? You ever have that job?
No, never did.
Whoop, hang on. Was time even granted? I think that's going to go as ball 2.
Yeah, I didn't see the umpire ever put his hand up to call time. That was a free strike for the pitcher.
But instead the pitch missed. Time not granted, and the pitch called the ball. So 2-1. Yeah. Actually worked out pretty well for Sweeney. Rangers get action now in their bullpen. Lefty and a righty. Eddie Guardado and Jason Jennings as we play here in the 7th. On the outside corner, 2-2. I guess in hindsight that wouldn't have been a bad pitch to be running on for Patterson, right? Because it took a while for that pitch to get there.
That was a breaking ball. Looked like a slider or a curveball, one of the two on the outside corner. I listened to Ricky Henderson being interviewed by Tim McCarver the other day, and that's one of the things he talked about. The influence that Billy Martin had on him is teaching him when to anticipate a breaking ball and to try to steal on a breaking ball count when you're liable to get a breaking ball, because it is generally down lower, sometimes in the dirt, slower, and tougher to throw someone out with.
Davis, great play, but Padilla late to get to the bag. Safe! Mike Riley made the call. Here comes Ron Washington to argue. And Davis a diving stab, but Padilla was late to get there.
Yeah, probably was an easier play for Ian, but it doesn't matter. The reason he was called safe is because, in the umpire's opinion, the runner beat Padilla. And either way, Padilla was still going to have to cover first base, whether Ian fielded it or whether Chris fielded it. But Chris got up quickly and flipped the ball. Wow, that's a close one. I think either team is going to probably say that they have an argument, depending on which way it goes.
Now it's Cabrera, who's been swinging a good bat, but this thing kind of cries out as a bunting situation. Michael Young in on the grass at third. Davis in on the grass at first. And the wheel play on as the bunt is laid down foul. Andrews going over to cover at third.
Generally, it's hard to bunt with a wheel play, but with a right-handed throwing first baseman, if you lay down a good bunt and the guy at second gets a decent jump and has speed, which Patterson does, pretty hard for the first baseman to throw it back to third base and beat him there anyway. But that is the design of the wheel play, is to get the hitter to bunt into a force out at third base.
And Cabrera has been known as a good bunter.
In the wheel play, the third baseman charges and the shortstop goes to third. A traditional play, the third baseman waits back, and if it's bunted to him, he throws to first and the runners move up.
Swinging this time is Cabrera.
Yeah, that time he was swinging. And I think that's generally what a manager would tell a hitter. If you see the wheel play, don't bunt, because it reduces your chances of getting the sacrifice bunt down successfully.
You were talking about the influence of Billy Martin. Bob Guerin briefly played for Billy Martin way back when. There are a bunch of guys. Lou Piniella, Charlie Manuel, former managers like Willie Randolph, Mike Hargrove. A lot of former managers, current managers played for Billy Martin at some point. Bucky Dent, Davey Lopes, Don Baylor. On 1-2, here's Padilla. A little looper into right field, the base hit. Up with the ball is Nelly Cruz, and now the bases are loaded. Jack Cust coming up. A pitch count at 99 for Padilla. It's a lefty and then a couple of righties due up now for Oakland. Jack Cust will be the hitter, but not against Padilla. Ron Washington set to make a move here as the A's are trying to add to their lead in the top of the 7th. They want Guardado, the veteran lefty, to face the left-handed Cust. So that's it for Padilla. Back to see how this shakes out in just a moment on Fox Sports Southwest. Hang around and enjoy Big Bang fireworks presented by Windmill Suites. You can get $10 tickets, $5 parking for tomorrow's matchup. Just enter fireworks as the coupon code on TexasRangers.com or call 972-RANGERS. The power threat, Jack Cust, with the bases loaded and nobody out. As always, he's a threat to walk and strike out, too. But Vicente Padilla now a spectator as it's Eddie Guardado taking over on the mound. 38-year-old Eddie. A rocky beginning to 09. Opponents hitting .391 against him. Take a strikeout or a double play right here. Got the righty Holiday on deck. The Rangers had Jason Jennings up in the bullpen earlier. Cust, as always, patient. No margin for error, and Eddie begins with 3 in a row out of the zone. I missed again. It's 2-0 A's. Third time Cust has walked in this game. Well, Eddie was brought on just to face the lefty, Jack Cust. He was going to come out afterwards one way or another, but this is a tough way to have to come out. He comes in and throws 4 in a row that miss, and now he's got to walk off that mound. conversation with Angel Campos. And now Eddie, well, he's been thrown out of the game. But of course, he was already out of the game. Well, as we said, it's been a frustrating month for Eddie. Back to where the Rangers had a chance to jump out on top in the 5th inning. 2nd and 3rd, and nobody out at one point in that inning. But we'll give Dallas Braden some credit. He made some good pitches when he needed to. The Rangers now trail 2-0, and Matt Holliday, with the bases loaded, faces Jason Jennings. These guys used to play together as Colorado Rockies. They played against each other in the Big 12. Baylor against Oklahoma State. And now it's the Rangers against the A's, game number 21 of the season. And this thing is tilted towards the Athletics. They're up by 2 and looking for more against Mr. Jennings.
A real nice play by Taylor to block that hard slider in the dirt and shift his weight quite a bit to be able to block it.
Holliday has flied out once, grounded out twice. And in fact, one of the ground outs, they actually reached base, but the Rangers cut down Cabrera trying to score from 3rd with the infield in halfway. And the infield is pinching in here in a 2-0 game. There's the ground ball. Michael Young going home with it, and that's it. That's the most important out to get, right? That one coming in.
Yeah, in this kind of a game, you know, if the Rangers have a 10-run lead, you might try to turn a double play, but it was a slowly hit ball, and that was kind of doubtful anyway. In that situation, the one thing you want to do is get the runner at the plate. There's 2 in. The Rangers haven't scored through 6 innings. You don't want, if at all possible, another run to score. So definitely the right play on a fairly slowly hit ball that probably couldn't have turned 2 anyway.
Now with the bases loaded, it's Kurt Suzuki. It's interesting with Taylor Teagarden as the Rangers catcher. This is kind of a rematch here when Cal State Fullerton played Texas in the College World Series. The championship game, it was Suzuki as the catcher on one side, Teagarden on the other. Suzuki had the game-winning hit in that game. Lifting this one into left center. Marlon Byrd, do you have a play? The throw cut off. 2 sac flies in the game now for the Oakland A's. And they're on top 3-0.
Suzuki is hit down at the bottom of the order for much of the season, but he's been the A's best hitter this year. So you think eventually it would be logical for him to move up in the order, which he has today, to 5th, because Chavez couldn't play. But he's had a couple of hits, a sacrifice fly, and a hit by pitch. Good day for him.
That throw simply heading offline, so cut off. Now Travis Buck. And he mashes one over a leaping Kinsler. Nelly Cruz will pick it up. He fires it in right on a line to Teagarden. So ended up being a good idea by Mike Gallego to hold the runner at third. Landon Powell's supposed to be hitting now. And it looks like he'll get called back. That's the first hit for Travis Buck today.
We got Jason Giambi on the bench, left-hand hitter.
A guy with 36 career home runs against the Rangers.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. For Oakland.
Mike Maddox heads out there to talk with the right-hander Jason Jennings. Now the inning all started with the number 9 hitter Eric Patterson getting on with a single, and then kind of a big thing in this inning when you think about it, Tag, that call at first base when Padilla was a little late getting over there to cover, and it looked like just a bang play at first. Ryan Sweeney called safe, and from there it's been a single, a walk, a fielder's choice, a sac fly.
Yeah, it could potentially have been a much different inning if that was turned into an out, no doubt about it.
Giambi returning to the A's. He's still in search of that first World Series title. The Yankees had won plenty before he arrived, but of course they haven't won recently. In the years that he was there, I mean, he basically had just missed all that. He was one of the most dangerous bats in the Yankee lineup a year ago. The 2000 MVP in the American League. Teammate of your son, Ben Grieve.
Sure was.
That one's in there. 2-2. Closing up, says Angel Campos. With the bases loaded, the 2-2. We will do it again. In a long top of the 7th inning. Thought that was the end of the inning.
I think Taylor did too, the way he held the ball there.
Manager would like to see the pitch tracker. It's outside, according to that.
Definitely outside. Good call.
Giambi to right field and into the crowd foul. Well, Giambi kind of true to form. He's usually up there for quite some time. Kind of like Jack Cust. 8 pitch at bat work in here. Again, the runners will be in motion. And a high fly ball. Andrews back. He's got it. The A's settle for 2 runs. At the 7th inning stretch, they lead by 3. Some defensive changes to tell you about as we go to the bottom of the 7th, and the Rangers are trailing today 3-0. Of course, they have rallied from down 3-0, 4-0, even 5-0 this year. Bobby Crosby and Jack Hanahan now in the game. We'll show you where in just a moment. Ian Kinsler at the plate. Actually, Bobby Crosby's been in the game. He's just moved. Hanahan's at third, and that is what bumps Crosby to first now. Remember, Landon Powell was lifted. Kinsler swings and pops the 2-0 back out of play into the crowd of a little more than 13,000 here today. Well, there is some massive freaking out going on down there over that foul ball.
I missed it. I didn't lean over to see what happened. Someone must have made a play, though.
Oh, I see. She's got the Kinsler jersey. That's her boy. And they got the Kinsler foul ball. So that's a beautiful thing right there.
All right.
Thus the freaking out. Outside corner, 3-2.
It's okay. 3-1 pitch. Tough pitch. Good pitcher's pitch.
Oh, she's died and gone to heaven. Look at that. Got the Kinsler foul ball for reals.
She doesn't believe her good fortune.
Kinsler draws the walk. As the Rangers try to find a way to dent this quality Oakland bullpen. I'm going to show you the forward leaderboard. We'll show you how tough that Oakland bullpen has been. Ford tough. Yeah, thank you. Action again. That was the guy that was supposed to start yesterday for the A's, Josh Outman. And Kurt Young, the A's pitching coach, out there to talk to Bailey.
Yeah, what the A's do, and if they have a rain out or an off day, they've skipped the starter. They skipped Outman, put Braden in on his normal day. The Rangers have given their starters an extra day's rest, and I think early in the season that's really benefited someone like Kevin Millwood. Twice he's had extra day's rest to bounce back from high pitch totals. Not in his last couple starts, but earlier than that he did.
Strike one to Marlon Byrd. Again, the A's came in today only 7-11. And lost 6 out of 8. Byrd taps it back to Bailey. One out there, and on to first. No, Marlon Byrd made sure it didn't happen. Fielder's choice, and Michael Young comes up. Well, the Royals have built their lead to 8-2 on the Blue Jays now. That game's in the 6th. This right here, the only other game going in the big leagues right now. 3-0 Athletics. They've got a righty up who's joined Josh Outman in the bullpen now, too. That is the veteran Russ Springer. And he's kind of an interesting guy because on this Oakland pitching staff, he's the 40-something oasis in the desert of 24-year-olds they've got.
He's still doing a good job, though. He had a nice season last year.
Another ground ball, slowly hit. 6-4, safe. Rangers beat out a couple of those. And Andrew Jones will come to the plate. Rangers not exactly driving the ball today. A lot of strikeouts and groundouts. Had the one ball that just missed getting out off the bat of Nelly Cruz.
Andrew Jones has seen a lot of pitches today. He really worked the count in the 4th and 5th inning. 4th inning he worked it for a walk. 5th inning he was walked intentionally. He's had 11 walks this year in limited playing time.
He and Nelson Cruz are the two guys that have walked the most for the Rangers. On a team that overall has walked pretty close to the least amount of times. Free swinging with Seattle has walked a fewer times. Andrew Jones. Look at Andrew, the way he's talking to Angel Campos here. Let's see. Well, it's.
Yeah, I'm not sure he was arguing. I don't know that the umpire would have taken the conversation as calmly if he was arguing balls and strikes.
It seemed very pointed and polite, whatever it was.
Yeah.
You're right, almost like it was about something else. Like, if you please not do that or whatever.
Generally, a hitter, if he's going to argue the first strike of an at-bat, might say something without turning around to the umpire. I don't think he would go all the way back and go face-to-face with the umpire if he's arguing the ball and strike. I don't think umpires look too fondly on that kind of a thing. But whatever it was no problem between Andrew and the umpire, evidently.
The friendliest disagreement you've ever seen.
That should add up to 3-2. And here it does.
Yep. Still 3-2. The bat going flying that time. Ball ended up foul towards first. The bat ended up over in third base foul territory. Again, the game tomorrow with fireworks after. That's a 7:05 first pitch tomorrow with the White Sox coming in. And now Jones is out. Well, just a tough day at the office for the Ranger hitters. The A's on top by 3. but just couldn't get it done with the bases loaded a couple times. Sweeney stays hot for the Oakland A's. Cabrera, same thing, and Kurt Suzuki, too. All those guys have a couple of hits today. Now Bobby Crosby. They will take a strike from Jason Jennings, who was already into the game, headed out to the mound from the bullpen when Eddie Guardado was ejected from the game. It's one of those weird ones. Eddie had already been removed by Ron Washington, but got into it with Angel Campos, the young home plate umpire here. And with Eddie almost all the way back to the Rangers dugout, he got the gate officially.
It was a solid outing for Vicente Padilla. It's a quality start. 3 runs in 6 innings. And I think on most days in this ballpark, if you can hold the other team to 3 runs with our offense, you're going to fare pretty well.
Michael Young couldn't get rid of the ball. Crosby is safe. Crosby had robbed Ian Kinsler over at third base earlier. Michael Young trying to return the favor and rob Crosby. It just didn't happen. I'll see how the A's play it. They're up 3. They've got the number 9 hitter batting, Eric Patterson. And Young in on the grass at third, thinking about the bunt. And here it comes. Foul. Hey, folks, by the way, if you want to email the broadcast booth, you do have the chance to do that. And we'll try to get to a couple before the game is over. FoxSports.com. And the keyword is email Rangers. And if you're a part of Twitter Nation, you can Twitter at Fox Sports Southwest as well. It is FS Southwest after you go to Twitter.com. That button didn't work.
Not unless he's trying to bunt it straight behind him. I think what he tried to do is pull his bat back and not bunt at the ball, and it caught the bat. There's no way that ball could have gone fair with the angle of his bat. I don't think he was trying to bunt it. Try to bunt with 2 strikes.
Well, he's showing it. Again, Patterson coming up from AAA Sacramento when Mark Ellis went on the DL. Nomar Garciaparra to the DL that day, too. The A's just got clobbered by injuries last year. They set a team record using the DL 25 times. By the way, the 8th inning pitch tracker brought to you by Amica Insurance. It's not just how you're covered, it's how you're treated. Jennings deals, and that is up and outside. Again, the A's, going back to last year, wasn't just the injuries, but boy, they just didn't hit. On base percentage, which used to be the hallmark of what they did, was a huge problem, even and especially from the leadoff spot. They had a 285 on base percentage from their leadoff spot last year, and that's a problem. Worst in baseball last year, and I would say kind of an affront to the franchise that used to employ Ricky Henderson. Runner goes. Good jump. And the ball fouled away. But for these A's, I mean, it's only a couple of years after being in the ALCS last year that they were essentially starting over. The way it was written, and I agree with it, they were looking to build a rebuild, a once sturdy structure, kind of brick by brick. They traded away a lot of what they had, got a lot of prospects back.
I guess the one thing they're going to have to do is they're going to have to develop some prospects into position players at the big league level. They've always been able to develop pitchers. And, you know, you go back and position players as well, but right now they seem to be a little top heavy in the pitching.
Sweeney.
And they've had to add veteran players. Garcia Parra traded for Holiday, signed Giambi, signed Cabrera, veteran guys to fill in. But they haven't committed long-term contracts to them, so they haven't tied their hands behind their back as far as the roster goes. They can still have a lot of flexibility, but this year they felt like they didn't have young position players, and so they had to sign some. So far in April, it hasn't worked for them offensively, but you just have to think guys like Holiday and Giambi are going to start driving the ball as the summer goes on.
And if it doesn't go well for the A's, well, you know, maybe somebody else thinks that those guys can get it going in July, and you trade them away, get something back. Last year, they traded away 7 established big league players in a 7-month period. They got back 20 players for the 7 that they traded. All of them developing instead of already developed. Of course, it cost them any chance of a winning record in 08, but they've got the infrastructure going forward now to maybe get some things done. They were only 4 games back around the All-Star break last year. Then they lost 44 of their last 68. Worn down by injuries and, as we're saying, hindered by how young they were. Fouled away by Sweeney. Got a couple of emails here, Tag, wondering what it is Michael Young must say to himself when he talks to himself up there at the plate. And somebody here wanted to know, did you ever talk to yourself at the plate?
No. Sometimes all you're doing is saying whatever you're thinking at the time. In other words, stay back, get a good pitch, just reminding yourself. I never did it out loud, but I'm sure it's something like that.
Ooh, close.
And Mark Fidrich, when he talked to the ball as a pitcher, was saying, I'm going to throw you on the outside corner. You're going to sink and be strike 3. You're just trying to use positive words, thinking positive things to get a positive result. And I don't know for sure, but I would guess that's what Michael's doing up there.
Well, we were talking about Ricky Henderson earlier today. Ricky would talk to himself and about himself again, as we were talking about, in the third person. And the catchers used to love that. They'd hear, stay back, Ricky. He's not going to challenge you, Ricky. Boy, again, a lot of close pitches here, but count goes to 3-2. What do you think there are more of, Ricky Henderson stories or Mickey Rivers stories? Or is it like a tie?
I'd have to go with Mickey Rivers, but I imagine it's fairly close. I'd go with Mickey Rivers.
Can't lose either way, right? Runner goes. Ground ball. Kinsler's got it to Andrews for 1. The hurdle and the throw. They turn that double play.
Don't generally see it turned when the runner's moving, especially one that runs pretty well. But it was a hard hit ball, and Elvis dodged the runner and made the double play.
Andrews wings it over there to close out the inning. It's still 3-0. Insurance. It's not just how you're covered, it's how you're treated. For more information, visit amicatexas.com. Well, the Rangers have to hope the back of the bullpen will wobble for the Oakland A's today. So far, the Rangers have stranded 10, and they're trailing 3-0, running out of time here. Russ Springer comes into the ball game. And into this 2009 season, here's a guy that's had 70 appearances 3 years in a row. Had an ERA of 2.5 or less each of the last 2. Not a guy you hear a lot about.
No,
boy, he's solid.
You really don't hear much about him. But solid is a good word for him, and he's off to another good start this year. Talk about a guy that's stayed in great shape and kept his performance at a high level. You got him right there. From the left side, it's kind of been Alan Embry, you'd think of, that has pitched, seems like forever, and maintained a high quality for a long time. Still throws the ball hard.
Blaylock trying to work his way on base. Cruz and Davis to follow. That's the thing. You get a couple of base runners. You are one swing away from being right where you want to be.
Yep.
There's a swing from Hank Blaylock. He drills it to the wall. It is gone.
There's a start. Now it's a 2-run game. Rangers almost were in that position last inning. Andrew Jones had a 3-2 count. A walk would have set up an opportunity for Hank to hit with a couple of men on. It's a fastball inner part of the plate in the strike zone, and snuck it out of the ballpark.
Now there's the first sign of a wobble from Oakland today. Hank Blaylock, his 6th home run. The Rangers have now hit 40 already this year. And Nelson Cruz will take one out of play to the right. Dallas Braden started for the A's today, went 5. He kind of MacGyvered his way out of a 5th inning potential debacle. It was 2nd and 3rd and nobody out. But the A's, no runs allowed in that inning. Despite a leadoff walk in the 7th, still a shutout here into the 8th, but Blaylock has taken care of that. Suzuki will cling to that. And the foul tip ends the at bat for Nelly Cruz. He's 1 for 4 today.
First baseman, Chris Hennings.
Out of Longview High School in East Texas, Chris Davis. A walk and a strikeout today, and a ground out. But I think the key thing about all of that, Tag, he's had a full count all 3 times up there today. Working that count pretty well.
Yep. Well, the Rangers saw a lot of pitches today. Had some rallies, had some men on, just haven't been able to get the big hit when they needed it.
Love that they won that game the other night without a home run, without even a double. That's the first time the Rangers have won a game this year without hitting a home run.
Well, they did it with good pitching. Took advantage of an error and some walks.
Wow, look out. Line shot into the crowd by Davis.
Only laughing because they avoided contact.
Boy, no kidding. That'll wake you up over there. The 1-2. Busted bat. And a base hit for Chris Davis. The tying man is coming up. That's what's left of the bat. Davis back to a 200 batting average with that hit. And the tying man will be Taylor Teagarden. Taylor was hitting for power when he got to the big leagues last year for the first time. He's not been doing that yet here in 2009. Of course, he's not playing every day or anything close to that. Nobody in the last 50-plus years had more than the 5 home runs he hit in his first 9 big league ball games when he broke in last year. He ended up with 6 homers in his first 12 games. Local product out of Carrollton Creekview, the Mustangs. Again, he and Kurt Suzuki right there at the plate together, renewing their acquaintance from the College World Series of a few years ago. Taylor, an outstanding performer down in Austin. Keeping Davis close. I don't think he's looking to steal a base here, though, right?
Definitely not. He would be the only one in the ballpark that was thinking about it if he decides to.
Be the element of surprise, if nothing else.
That would be the ultimate. You better not get thrown out.
That's high, 2-2.
Oakland's going to have to navigate through the top and middle of the lineup before this game's over. And you'd like to see it happen right here in the 8th inning with men on base.
Strike 3 called on the inside corner. Nine more strikeouts against the Rangers today. And according to the Amica pitch tracker, it had the upper corner. David Murphy's now come out on deck. Andrews, remember, is due to hit. But the Rangers have a left-hand bat on the bench. Normally, if Josh Hamilton wasn't playing, you'd say, hey, it's time for Josh to get in there and take a big swing. But the last thing the Rangers want Josh to do right now is take a big swing and re-injure that rib.
And in this situation, a 2-run game with a man on, the reason Ron would pinch hit here is you want a guy that with one swing of the bat has a chance to tie the game up. And even though Elvis has hit a home run this year, David against the right-hand pitcher probably has a better chance.
Murphy finally got going in Baltimore. The first few weeks of the season have been a real tough thing. Started his year 0 for 23. Two strikes to count. The Rangers have 1 man on, 2 men out. They have scored once here on the Blaylock homer. And a chance here to tie the game. Kinsler waits on deck. From 0-2 to 2-2. Murphy's another guy, Tag, that has been in the lead in terms of working the count and getting a walk or two.
Yeah, David has walked 7 times with only 31 at bats. So, Andrew Jones and David aren't playing regularly, but they're having good at bats as far as seeing pitches, making the pitcher throw strikes.
Hangs around by fouling one away. You're right. It's been a lot of foul balls today. Yesterday was rained out. The Rangers beat the A's in the opener of the series. The White Sox come in tomorrow. Another one poked out of play. A slow breaking ball from Springer. "70 games for Springer last year, but only 50 innings pitched. He was used carefully and strategically by Tony La Russa, who back in the day managed these Oakland A's. From 0-2 to 3-2.
That's what we're talking about right there. Good at bats. Taking tough pitches. That one actually dropped right in the lower part of the strike zone. Looked like it was really low. No one argued it. One of those pitches that when it goes over the plate is just barely high enough and then is almost in the dirt when the catcher catches it.
Davis will get going. The 3-2 pitch is low. Murphy works another walk, and the go-ahead run comes up. It's Ian Kinsler. And, I'm sure there's going to be people in Oakland that go, man, that guy's hitting 0-97. You had him 2 strikes. You walk him. But David Murphy's been having those at-bats all year, like you said, just battling it.
Well, you still have to be careful to him, too. He's got the power to tie the game with one swing at the bat, and Springer knows that, so he's being careful to him. But now you got a guy with one swing at the bat can put the Rangers ahead.
And the Rangers do have Frank Francisco ready in the bullpen. Oh, Kinsler took a big swing, but he fouled it back.
Oh, what a catch by that guy. He staggered, reached up, and somehow caught it.
Kinsler leads the team with 7 home runs. The outfield is a couple steps back against him here. Driven out of play to the right. And Ian is behind 0-2. Back to the net. The Rangers have stranded 10 already today. And Kinsler wants to make sure that doesn't grow to 12. Up and outside. Springer's going to end up throwing about 30 pitches or more in this inning. with 2 on, 2 out. A drive by Kinsler to center field. It goes to the track. It's at the wall. It is caught in center field by Sweeney. He saved a 3-run, game-changing home run. This crowd can't believe it. Kinsler can't believe it. Ryan Sweeney saves the day. What a catch. Blaylock hit one out, but Kinsler denied, and it stays 3-1. The 9th inning begins with a strike. The 8th inning, a couple minutes ago, ended with highway robbery. It was Ryan Sweeney in center field denying the Rangers of what would have been a 4-3 lead in Ian Kinsler's 8th home run of the year.
Well, that may happen in the 9th inning, but it almost happened in the 8th inning. And boy, that would have been some month of April when you look at the late inning heroics by the Rangers offense.
Vizquel into the game, as you saw, at short.
Ian just hit that ball high enough so that Sweeney had time to make that beautiful play. He timed it perfectly, went up over the fence and brought it back. Otherwise, you'd be watching Frankie Francisco right now try to save a 4-3 lead.
Ground ball towards second, and Kinsler shaking off the effects of that disappointment, able to make that play. Folks, real quick, a reminder, you can vote for the 2009 All-Star Game. You can help send your favorite Ranger by voting at TexasRangers.com/All-Star. You receive 2 free Ranger tickets when you vote the maximum of 25 times. Go to TexasRangers.com/All-Star to cast your ballot. Boy, in this ballpark, it's still buzzing about that play that Sweeney made. Sweeney was a pitcher in high school, was the state of Iowa baseball player of the year, was known more for his pitching than anything else. Had a 0.35 ERA his junior year. But obviously he can do some things with the bat. We have seen that in this series with a home run. And that is some kind of catch he made to take one away from Kinsler and the Rangers. Cust will fly to left.
It was a great play. It's going to be a great play no matter when he makes it during the game. But when you make it under those circumstances in a 2-run game with 2 men on late in the ball game, it just makes it even more dramatic.
Your point was outstanding, though. It hasn't happened yet, but it still could happen. The Rangers with that late inning magic.
Yep, they've got some guys coming up that can do the same thing.
Matt Holliday against his old buddy. Mr. Jennings will drive one deep all the way back in right center. It's gone. It's the first home run for Holliday as an Oakland A. His first homer in 109 at bats going back to last year. The former Rockies teammates. Holliday homers off of Jennings to make it 4-1. Now, only the 9th home run all year for the Oakland A's. Here's Kurt Suzuki. Busting his bat. Vizquel whirls like he's been doing for 20 years. Makes that play to retire the side. But an important insurance run is handed for the A's. 4-1 ball game. Bird, Young, and Andrew Jones coming up. Low fares, no hidden fees, and by your Texas Ford dealers. Check out the all-new F-150 and drive one. Ford is the best in Texas. Oh, tough mountain for the Rangers to climb now, as the lead has been extended to 4-1. Rangers thought they had a 3-run homer from Ian Kinsler. It just didn't quite get out, thanks to Ryan Sweeney. Now, Michael Wirtz is going to try to close this thing out. He only has one big league save, and that was way back in 2004 as a Chicago Cub. They were looking at Joey Devine this year to be maybe their closer, but he's out with arm surgery. Brad Ziegler will get a shot this year.
Yeah, Brad Ziegler did a pretty nice job last year as a closer when he got the chance late in the game. That scoreless streak, incredible scoreless streak. He evidently is not available today. Rumor is that he's sick, but no one's saying for sure. Ziegler does have 4 saves, so he's obviously their closer.
Michael Wirtz gets the chance, though, right here. And the Rangers maybe can take advantage of that. I mean, Michael Wirtz is a quality reliever, but not really used to closing him out in the 9th. The Rangers have been rallying in the 9th quite a bit already this year.
Ziegler last year had a 1.06 ERA, saved 11 games. And he didn't pitch the first night. Yesterday was a rainout, so if there wasn't something wrong with him, he would be in the game right now.
Bird, Young, and Jones to set up Blaylock here in the last of the ninth. Marlon Byrd caught it short.
Man.
Orlando Cabrera got on the trampoline and took one away.
The last 2 outs.
Boy, just a frustrating afternoon top to bottom. Timed it and then had a little hang time. Now Michael Young 1 for 4. Well, Minnesota looked lonely there. Maybe the Rangers can go ahead and join the Twins, but boy, the A's are not making it easy to come back.
I thought he did that. He actually didn't catch that at the peak of his jump. He reached the peak of his jump and then was coming down when he caught it. It looked like he mistimed his jump slightly. Not to take anything away, it's still a nice play.
Wirtz brings a strike in there to Michael. The A's have stranded 10 today, but the Rangers have stranded 12. And again, they'll just kick themselves all day for that 5th inning. 2nd and 3rd, nobody out. They didn't score. Michael Young driving it left field. At the track and to the wall. It keeps carrying, and Michael hit himself right in the face. He's on his way to 3rd. The throw in to Hanahan is in time. And Ron Washington out to argue. Michael drilled that ball off the wall, right off his own visage out there. Then tried to go to 3rd base. And it didn't work.
I think when Michael went around 2nd, he didn't think it was going to be that close of a play. Otherwise, he wouldn't have gone in a 3-run game. And it was a very close play. Probably could have gone either way, but I know if Michael was back at 2nd base, he would have stopped. And it turned out to be a great throw from left field, right on the money. Looked like Michael may have gotten his leg in safely.
Very close.
But to do it all over again, I'm sure Michael would say he would have stayed at 2nd base.
So now 2 out.
Look at the last 3 outs.
This ball drilled up in the air down that left field line, and it is a home run. Andrew Jones right inside the pole.
The last 5 batters, Murphy worked a walk. Kinsler's robbed of a 3-run homer. Bird hits a line shot that Cabrera jumps to catch. Michael doubles, is thrown out at 3rd, and now Jones homers.
Well, the Rangers will have to reload very quickly here. Andrew Jones has now matched his home run total from last year and in his Dodgers career, as a matter of fact. It's his 3rd as a Ranger. He got it tucked just inside the foul pole and just over the wall. And now Blaylock and then Cruz. It's going to be tough just not to be sick, though, over Sweeney taking that home run away from Kinsler. This comeback doesn't come all the way to where you want it to. Couple of strikes on Blaylock.
Well, Wirtz is on his way to get a save with a line shot, a double off the wall, and a home run. I know how Ian feels, boy. That is a terrible feeling to hit a ball like that under those circumstances and have the guy go up and make that kind of a play.
The 1-2. And that'll do it. April ends one game under 500 instead of one game over. Ryan Sweeney's robbery to end the 8th inning really swings the whole ball game. The A's beat the Rangers by the final of 4-2.